Welcome to Camelback Ranch, Glendale, Arizona, along with Ned Coletti. I'm Tim Neverett. Kirsten Watson will join us in just a little bit. Your world champion Dodgers hosting the Cincinnati Reds on a windy night in the Cactus League. Well, pitching has been a big part of the story in the early going in spring training. The Dodgers starters through 3 games have allowed just 2 runs, only 1 earned. This guy, Trevor Bauer, in his debut Monday against the Rockies, 2 innings of shutout baseball, didn't walk anybody, struck out 2. Fastballs in the first inning, curveballs in the second.
Cy Young Award winner from a year ago, and perhaps a future Cy Young Award winner here in Game 3 of the Cactus League, Walker Buehler. Look at this pitch. Unfair to throw that type of pitch when you can get it up in the high 90s like he can. And then tonight, we got another one.
Julio Urias will make his spring debut. He was the man that was on the mound for the final out of the World Series. And certainly what an honor for any pitcher to have that opportunity. And he gets to go at it tonight as the starter, expecting 2 innings out of Julio on this breezy evening in Glendale. First pitch and lineup still to come. Got to batten down the hatches here. Might have a hair-raising game. Who knows? Hold on to your hat. Urias against Jeff Hoffman. Dodgers-Reds coming up. Kind of night in Glendale. Wind going out to left field. Southwest winds 26 miles an hour. For more on that, let's visit with Kirsten.
Thanks, Tim. And you said it, 26 miles per hour winds coming from the southwest. So chances are high we may see a lot of home runs, a lot of balls that are just going to float out. I spoke to Dave Roberts about it earlier, and he said, look, the majors, the big leagues guys, they did not take batting practice today due to the wind because they just didn't feel like it was necessary. It wasn't going to benefit for them. But for some of the younger guys tonight, this is just a great practice and experience for them, getting these live reps and experiencing the wind, which does have impact.
Oh, it certainly does. This could be one of those spring training specials, Ned, that you get every once in a while. And it not only happens in Arizona, but in Florida as well. You get these windy days and windy evenings sometimes, and it can affect the game. But in the meantime, the pitcher's got to try to keep the ball in the ballpark and keep it on the ground. And there's a familiar face getting ready to lead off for the Cincinnati Reds. That is D. Strange Gordon. He's added Strange to his name to honor his late mother. And D. Gordon will lead off playing shortstop. Scott Heidemann and Nick Senzel. Aristides Aquino will back cleanup, play right field. Blandino, Stevenson, Jonathan India, good prospect for them at second base. Chancellor Cuthbert, the former Royal, at first. And Max Schrock will play third base. Julio, 10 starts last year, went 3-0. He didn't lose a single game. Regular season or postseason, 4-0 in the postseason. Opponent average overall 220. Just another outstanding year for a guy who seems like he's been around forever, but he's only 24 years old. First pitch, and Gordon takes a strike, and we're underway.
D. Gordon, former high pick by the Dodgers, came up as a shortstop, moved to second base, great speed, not a whole lot of power, and went on to Florida after that.
And he can run. Fouls this one off. No balls and 2 strikes.
He can't fly.
Again, you see the name edition on the back of his jersey. He told the club he wants to go by Strange Gordon. Again, that is in honor. Well, Wynn's got this a little bit. That'll take it out of range of JT. But his late mother, Devonna Strange, who was killed when he was 7, he wants to honor her, so he has added her name to his. That's 0-2 to Gordon. And a pitch. And a bouncer to the left side. There's Lux, has to hurry, and gets it to first base in time. 1 out.
Lux knew who was running. Good exchange, good release. Good scoop here by Max.
Gets down the line well. Gavin got it over there quickly. Gavin playing some shortstop tonight. Dave Roberts saying he'll play a lot of second base. That's where they figure he will be slotted in, but he's got the experience at shortstop, and here in spring training giving him an opportunity to play another position. Heineman takes ball one from Julio. So Urias last year postseason 4-0, 1 save. His earned run average 1.17.
And the longer the postseason went, the better he got. He started out good and finished tremendous.
Yeah, he had 6 postseason appearances. 2 of them were starts. And he was fantastic. Absolutely terrific.
You know, knowing Julio since he was 16 years old, you watch him grow up, and you watch him mature as a pitcher, and you watch him mature as a young adult. And then you see him in that moment in time. And we were looking at Oral Hershiser and Rick Dempsey for a long time as the last pitch of the '88 series. Now we see Julio and Austin Barnes, and I'm sure both players would like to have a different one next year.
This one fouled off by Heineman. And the count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is the first time we've seen him pitch since Game 6 of the World Series.
On the day we signed him, he had above average intellect, even as a 16-year-old. He knew how to pitch. He knew how to read a swing. Good changeup, good feel for everything. Really way beyond his age.
2-2. Toward right field. That's going to drop for a hit. Matt Beatty will retrieve it. Beatty in right field, McKinstry in center. Luke Raley is in left tonight for the Dodgers. A 1-out single, and Heineman is aboard for Cincinnati.
Pitch got up in the zone a little bit. Got to keep it down, especially on a night like tonight. So while the wind's blowing out and no pitcher is happy to throw in a situation like that, it does make you keep the ball down in the zone. Like playing an old Coors Field, old Wrigley Field with the wind blowing out.
And no humidor.
And no humidor.
Nick Senzel, who has played infield and outfield for the Reds since coming up. Last season, shortened season for him, hit just 186. Playing center field tonight. Julio out of the stretch with Heineman at first. 2 balls, no strikes.
Biting his command a little bit. Got the ball up to Heineman now. Senzel here, 1 up and away, and the other one down and in. But hey, that's what this time of year is about.
Now you think about when he was a young teenager, really in the middle part of his teens, and he was pitching for money. I mean, he got to play in the Midwest League, pitched for the Great Lakes Loons, A-ball affiliate of the Dodgers.
Part of the challenge with him was that you wanted to see him pitch more, and you wanted to have him out there because he was on a fast track to the big leagues. But you also had to be cognizant of his youth and wait for the kind of the maturity of the body to catch up with the maturity of his mind. Most of the time it's the other way.
But again, where does he fit this year? Right now looks like he's going to be in the rotation. We saw him in the postseason come out of the bullpen, and during the regular season he was a starter for most of it. Pitch popped up. Matt Beatty charging in. Wind's got a hold of it. Taylor is out there, and CT3 makes the catch.
That is a very tough play. We already saw the effects of the wind right there. That is difficult. You got CT3 who's playing almost in the middle of the diamond behind second. Long run and makes the play. And you also got Matt there that's got to kind of be aware of what CT is thinking and doing.
Good to see Chris Taylor back out there tonight. Started spring training, had a stiff neck, and now ready to go. And this guy can hit. Runner goes, throw down, and that is not in time. It's a stolen base for Scott Heineman. Will Smith couldn't get him out. Pretty good jump from Heineman.
Yep.
Got to wonder about the grip that Smith got. You saw that ball tailing to the right. Looked like a two-seamer. Aristides Aquino. He'll take a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Well, what a debut season he had a couple of years ago in terms of the power bat.
Cincinnati can develop some hitters, some good power hitters in the last few years. Playing the right ballpark for it, too.
Aquino will take a strike here. Nick Lentz, the home plate umpire tonight. 4-man crew. Base umpires will rotate. Edwin Moscoso, Ryan Blakeney, and Todd Tishner. As the base umpires will do during spring training, they will rotate around to get 3 innings at each base. Aquino takes high and away. 3 balls and a strike.
Julio flying open just a little bit on his release. Instead under control, you'll start to see more pitches on the inner half to right-handed hitters or further down in the zone.
(3-1) count on and missed. Aquino would like to get one up in the jet stream, I think. Dave Roberts, he's got some tools to work with in terms of pitching. That's for sure. And here comes the full count pitch. Just below the knees, ball 4. The Reds now with 2 out and 2 on.
In the same signing of Julio. Here we go. This time he misses down, missed up and away a few times, including on a single to right field, but tried to recalibrate his delivery there and overthrew a little bit down. When we signed Julio, also in that same group was Victor Gonzalez, who took a while longer to get to the big leagues until last year. But when you think about it, he won Game 6, the clinching game of the World Series, and his buddy Julio saved it. Both signed on the same trip.
And when Julio was a youngster, it was his grandfather who told him about a guy who 40 years ago turned the baseball world on its ear. A left-handed countryman, Fernando Valenzuela. Fernando Mania 40 years ago. And Julio heard all about it as a kid, and he wanted to be that guy. Alex Blandino is the designated hitter in the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball in there at the knees for a strike.
I haven't seen Fernando as a rookie and Julio as a rookie. A lot of similarities besides being left-handed. They both had above average feel for the art of pitching at young ages. Remember Fernando, I mean, he could really pitch. As a rookie, he could pitch. He wasn't a thrower, he was a pitcher, even at that stage.
Another breaking ball fouled off, and Blandino, 2 strikes on it. About Game 6 of the World Series, 2 1/3 perfect innings. As he put the bow on the World Series win. Fastball low, and I think too, you give Dave Roberts some credit. He still had some weapons out in the bullpen to use, but I think when he was looking at the eyeball test at that point in time, his gut told him that Urias had everything in place to finish this up.
He was strong. He was very strong, and he was very determined, and he was very confident. He had a calmness about him. You're talking about winning the World Series. You're talking about trying to finish off Tampa in Game 6. And whenever you have a chance to win in Game 6, you never want to have to go to a Game 7. But the kid had confidence too, and no doubt that Dave made the right call, because he had somebody out there with extreme talent, good feel for the situation, and a ton of confidence. He got better as it went on.
Blandino slaps the curveball toward the right field corner. That's going to drop in fair and bounce out of play. That'll be a double as Heineman comes in to score, and the Reds get on the board. 1-0. Blandino goes and touches up, and he'll head out. Well, that's going to do it for the inning. So this is one of the new rules.
Yep.
Where you can roll an inning here. So 27 pitches for Julio, that's enough. So regardless of the situation, this will be the half inning, according to Dave Roberts. Reds, they'll get on the board. It's 1-0. Dodgers coming to bat. First inning, Chris Taylor will lead off for the Dodgers. Second baseman tonight gets to hit first, then Max Muncy will join him, and then 3-4 guys: Justin Turner, Will Smith, Matt Beatty, Gavin Lux in the outfield. McKinstry, Raley, and Rex. And moving Zach McKinstry around is going to be very important for his development. You see most of the batters in the lineup are left-handed, and they'll face this right-hander, Jeff Hoffman, formerly of the Colorado Rockies. And Hoffman trying to solidify his spot in the Reds rotation for 2021. Well, first spring training at bat for Chris Taylor. He gets a chance to track that one for strike one.
So what do you look for in spring training? A few years ago, Chris Taylor, new to the organization, coming from Seattle, had a great spring. Walked a lot, showed great strike zone awareness. Started to play different positions. Didn't make the club, as I recall, out of spring training. It was a little bit, maybe April. But once he got up there, boy, he showed his value. Became versatile and really showed Dave Roberts and the staff that he understood hitting and he understood the strike zone, and he was not going to be impatient. Trying to make the club, but not going to be impatient with his approach. Paid huge dividends for him and the organization.
Been such a key player for the Dodgers, not only offensively but defensively. Keep thinking about that game-ending double play that he was a big part of against the Padres in San Diego. Just another one of the tools that he has, a good arm. Fouls it off, and it's 1-2.
He's made some great throws in his career from the outfield. I mean, talking about a kid that really came up as a shortstop. Strong arm, obviously, to play that position, and accurate. And going to the outfield, he looks like somebody who works at his craft, works on his game, taking some fly balls in pregame, also throwing the bases, because when he's called upon, he rarely makes a bad throw.
There's a bounding ball just past Hoffman. Second baseman Jonathan India there. Bang bang at first, but Taylor is out. So one gone. So we saw for the first time this spring Dave Roberts end an inning before it was over. Trying to figure out how to put that in my scorebook, but I figure it's only for spring training, so it's an RBI double. That's it. End of the inning. So 27 pitches for Julio. Back on Monday, Garrett Richards with Boston threw 23 pitches in the first against the Braves and walked in a run, and then that was it. They took him out. They ended the inning, and then he came out for the second inning and retired the side in order. And Corey Knebel getting ready to go to work. He may come in a little earlier than anticipated once he fouls this one away. 1 ball, 1 strike to Max Muncy.
Think about the great scouting and vision the organization had. Acquired Chris Taylor, who had a little bit of time up in Seattle, but had not established himself. Now, as you just said, Tim, very much a key player. Max Muncy. Same thing. American League West, Oakland A's, a little bit of time. No job, sitting on the couch in April. Farhan Zaidi, former general manager, gives him a call, knew him from Oakland. Brings him in, doesn't get to the big leagues that entire season. And then from then on.
Yeah, you've seen that too. He struggled a bit average-wise last year in the shortened season, but picked it up in the postseason. Had 3 big postseason home runs. This one is hit in the air toward left center and shallow. And coming on the left fielder Heineman to make the play, and there are 2 gone.
No matter what his average is, Max Muncy, in the postseason, you don't take that at bat easy if you're the other side.
Justin Turner, he'll always get a big round of applause. Fan favorite with the Dodgers. 307, 4 home runs during the World Championship season. He is happy after going through the free agency process to remain a Dodger, to remain here in his home area where he grew up. His numbers, too, in the postseason have been terrific over the last several years. 2 balls, no strikes.
He's another player cut loose by the New York Mets. Look at the first 3 hitters in this lineup tonight: Taylor, Muncy, Turner. Teams gave up on him. They all end up in the Dodger uniform, and they end up being key players, regular season and really in the postseason.
He gets a hold of this one, but the ballpark's going to hold it right to the center fielder, Nick Senzel. 3 up, 3 down for the Dodgers in the first. We'll go to the second. In Glendale, it's a 1-0 Cincinnati lead. Champion Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by the SoCal BMW Centers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. That's just an iconic photo of Julio Urias into Game 6. And Austin Barnes caught the final out after Adames had struck out. Barnes put the ball in his back pocket smartly. And
Yep.
then the celebration was on. But Julio's evening is done early, and Corey Knebel will come on. Knebel had 15 games for the Brewers last year at an ERA of 6.08. And his fastball had been down a little bit from where it was before he was hurt. But he hopes to regain the magic he had early in his career with the Brewers. In fact, I remember when he came up with the Brewers, they were so excited about him, and with good reason. And he showed a ton of promise, and he showed and demonstrated that he knew how to pitch at the major league level effectively.
And pitch late in games.
Right.
39 saves in 2017, and then 16 in 2018. A lot of guys can pitch the 6th, fewer the 7th, fewer the 8th, very few the 9th.
Catcher Tyler Stevenson takes outside.
They really like this kid, Stevenson. They say the bat's ready now, but the defense and the game calling still a little bit of a work in progress. But a bright future for this young man.
And the 1-1 curveball. Cincinnati with a 1-0 lead. I guess we'll call it a 2-out RBI double.
Inning ending.
Inning ending 2-out RBI double. Yeah. Tell me when you'll see that again. But Blandino hit it, scoring Heineman. And then Julio Urias' evening was done after just 27 pitches. Here's the pitch on the way. And Stevenson hits this one in the air to center field, sending McKinstry back. Still going. That's going to bounce a couple of times before it hits the wall. And into second base with a double is Stevenson. Cincinnati with a man in scoring position and nobody out.
They say he can swing it, and you see it right here. Middle of the plate, good extension. McKinstry playing his 2nd professional game in center field. Night of versatility for him. Leadoff double. I like the idea of playing him all over the place. I think the kid's a baseball player, and you get a chance to play in the middle of the field and do some different things like that, like Kike did for a lot of years. That's a key thing for Dave Roberts to have.
Curveball out of the right hand of Knebel. Last year making his major league debut. You know, it's always important, I think, for position player to get on the other side of that first at bat, which he did. It wasn't successful, but later on he got his first knock.
Well, you think about doing that for most of your life until that day.
And you hear the public address announcer say your name after you've had your jersey in your locker for maybe a day or two, and you've taken in the whole experience. But unfortunately for McKinstry, he had to do it in front of a bunch of cardboard cutouts.
Yes.
So, here at Camelback Ranch, there are some fans here, as we'll show you throughout the game. And I know the players are thrilled to be able to play in front of real people. So Knebel ready to deliver the 1-2 to India. Well, the curveball didn't get him to chase.
Good pitch. Good take. Good pitch.
That power curve.
Yep. He's got that little glove tap, too. Just a little bit of a timing device, both for him and to throw the hitter off just a touch. Right there.
There's the fastball right on the inside edge for a called third strike. That is Knebel's first strikeout in a Dodger uniform.
Some good pitching there. Starting to go with curveball away, and then you come back with something on the inner half. Hard inner half. And you're looking away a little bit after the last pitch. Wrong direction.
Now you're looking at the number that Knebel is wearing as he gets set to face Cheslor Cuthbert. As Knebel wears number 46. Curveball for a strike. That was Tony Gonsolin's number.
That's right.
And, you know, he was the starting pitcher in Game 6 of the World Series, Tony Gonsolin. But Knebel's had 46, and that's his preferred number. And so he approached Tony and said, "You care if I have it?" And Tony didn't care. He's like, "Sure, I'll get another number." Most of the time, there's usually some transaction that goes on.
Yes.
One way or another to get a number. When you're a veteran player coming into a situation, you want a certain number. Sometimes you gotta pony up something to get it. But Tony was asked about it. He goes, "Nah, I don't care. I'll just give it to him." And so now Tony Gonsolin wears 26 instead of 46. 1-1 in the air to right center, and that's going to drop in front of Beatty.
John Hartung was telling a story the other day about Tony Gonsolin and Knebel and the number exchange, and brought up the great John Kruk, who I can't remember if he was getting the number or giving up the number, but the price was 2 6-packs.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Got off
Sounds
cheap.
like John Kruk, doesn't it?
Got off cheap, yeah. Now, speaking of 6-packs, Knebel is a craft brewer. He is a guy who's into brewing beer.
Well, that really offers the question. Was he a craft brewer before he was a brewer or after he was a brewer? Or did he start brewing when he was a brewer?
I want to say yes to all of that. When he was a Milwaukee brewer, and now he's a real brewer. This is Max Schrock, the third baseman, left-handed batter up for Cincinnati. 1-0 Reds, top of the second inning, 2 on and 1 out. Well, Knebel has the nickname of Bird Dog. He got it in college. His hitting coach, Tommy Harmon, gave him that name because he said that whatever he asked him to do, he did with a smile on his face. So he just decided he was going to call him a Bird Dog. And Corey now has one of his beers called the Bird Dog Brew.
How about that? Tommy Harmon, I was with him my first year in the game back in Chicago as a coach. He was a coach.
It was at the University of Texas.
Yep.
The Longhorns. Knebel's 2-0 pitch. Oh, good curveball on the inside edge for a called strike.
This time of year, that is really an excellent pitch. When you can spin it like that and have the placement of it this early in the camp, good sign.
Another one right there at the knees for a called strike. That's a difficult pitch for any hitter to get a bat on.
Different than the last one. More arc, lower.
More like a 12-6.
Yes.
12-6 curveball. Just kind of fell off the table. Knebel's 2-2 pitch to Schrock. Fastball. That is ripped to right field. Beatty will glove it. So get another run in as Stevenson comes across to score. Stopping at second is Cuthbert, and the Reds now lead it 2-0. Third hit allowed by Knebel.
In and around the strike zone this entire inning. Threw him 2 good curveballs, came back with a fastball. A bit of hitting by the 9-hitter.
So Schrock is at first base. Cuthbert at second, 1 out. And the order turns over to D. Strange Gordon. I told you why earlier. He's now D. Strange Gordon. When you look at his game jersey, I mean, the name now, because of the size of the letters on the back of the Reds jerseys, it doesn't just go armpit to armpit, it goes hip to hip. Takes a good portion of the back of his game jersey just to get his name on there now. Fastball taken for a strike.
When we drafted D. Gordon, D. Strange Gordon, he had really been more of a basketball player than a baseball player. But the athleticism that he had, and that his dad was a very, very good pitcher, closer for a lot of teams. Tom Gordon, we knew that the DNA was there, the aptitude was there to be able to play it, and he's had a nice little career here.
2 balls and a strike to Strange Gordon. Runners off first and second. Knable the stretch, checks the runners, kicks, comes home. And a ground ball to the left side, right between the legs of one of the base runners. Lux to Taylor, on to first, and Gordon beat it out. Cuthbert's safe at third. And even though he had to leap and the baseball went between his legs before Lux could grab it to start the double play, it didn't look like it slowed Lux down at all.
No, and you can't really play this any better than they did as middle infielders. So,
well,
ending fielder's choice. That's kind of more like
ending fielder's choice. 2 outs, and that's going to do it for Knable. So Dave Roberts electing to roll this inning over. So the second consecutive inning ends early. The Reds pick up another run. It's 2-0 after an inning and a half. Stadium eats are available at home through Dodgers home plates, from Dodger dogs to garlic fries and nacho helmets. Get a taste of the ballpark experience delivered on demand. Search for Dodgers home plates on Postmates and order your stadium favorites for the next game now. That next game's tomorrow. Same time, get that stuff delivered to you. I used Postmates last night after the game, Ned.
Yes.
I could not believe how fast they delivered it.
They may have been cooking it outside your door.
I did, yeah. Reading my mind as to what I wanted, but it was great. Here's Will Smith. Takes inside from Hoffman. 2 balls and a strike. 2-0 Cincinnati with Ned Colletti, Tim Neverett, Kirsten Watson with us also. 4th game of the Cactus League season. Dodgers 2-0-1. And the Reds 1-2. Reds won yesterday over the Angels 7-5. Smith pops this one up toward right center. Right fielder Aquino doesn't see it, but the center fielder Senzel comes over and makes the catch. Smith is out, and there's 1 gone for the Dodgers. 4 straight retired by Jeff Hoffman. Aquino lost it in a tough sky.
Yep.
Tough sky this time of night.
Well, he probably also caught a break as the ball was probably heading his way, and then the wind got a hold of it and moved it to the center fielder. Yeah, on any other night, that might have been routine to the right fielder. Matt Beatty. The Belmont Bruin takes up high for ball 1. Ball, no strikes. Here's a kid that's easy to root for. Such a good kid, worked so hard to get where he is. 2019 season, finally broke through. Made some pretty big contributions. His first major league at bat, got a hit. Not everybody does that. Nope.
Two 2-0 the count to Beatty. Hoffman, the right-hander, winds and fires, and it's high. 3 balls and a strike. Dodgers looking to get some hits, get some base runners here. 2 games ago, that wasn't a problem when they blanked the Rockies 10-0 on 14 hits. Pitch down and in, and that's ball 4, and the Dodgers have their first base runner. You look at last night, though, they were 10 hits shy of their total 2 days ago. And they 1-1 tie against the Giants. Each team only had 4 hits.
You'll see that sometimes this time of year. You know, one of the cool stories with Matt Beatty is his wife Jessica, who sometimes when he needs a little extra BP, Jessica is the one who throws to him. Yeah. I think that's such a great story.
She's got great fastball command, we understand, and she's working on the secondary pitches.
Well, she also understands it too. You know, it's pretty cool.
It's good.
Yeah, I like this.
Hey, it's a team effort.
Absolutely.
Gavin Lux with a 1-0 count on him. Left-handed batter waits, and the curveball is stroked past first, just foul. Diving attempt by Cuthbert. That ball was smoked past him, just to the right of the line.
Beatty, Lux, and McKinstry hitting 5, 6, and 7 tonight. Big springs for all of them. Beatty trying to get a little bit more reestablished. Gavin Lux trying to get an everyday job as a second baseman here. And Zach trying to make the club and be that versatile player that Dave Roberts loves to have on a club.
1-1 pitch in the dirt, blocked nicely there by Stevenson, keeping Beatty at first base. I'm glad you're tuned in to Dodger baseball tonight, no matter where you happen to be watching or listening on our TV radio simulcast. A windy and pleasant night, Camelback Ranch. The stretch by Hoffman in the pitch. This one is belted to right field. That's a base hit. Beatty will hold at second as Aquino gets it in quickly. Gavin Lux continues to hit. And 2 games ago, Lux had a couple of hits, including a run batted in. He went 2 for 3 against the Rockies 2 days ago. Back in the lineup, his first at bat tonight. He's got another one.
You can see him turn his top hand over on this pitch here. Gets on top of it, pulls it to right field with some authority.
2-0 Reds lead, and the tying run is aboard. Zach McKinstry 2 years ago in the minor leagues had a 300 average. Pitch on the way. That's outside. You remember last year, of course, the shortened spring training, but right around this time a year ago, McKinstry was opening up everybody's eyes.
Yep.
In fact, he was the best hitter for the Dodgers early in spring training before COVID shut things down.
No doubt left a positive impression with Dave Roberts and the staff.
And 14 games in spring training last year. He hit .414. He had 3 home runs, 2 doubles, and 7 runs batted in.
That's the value of spring training for a young player. Because, again, you're in front of the decision makers, in front of Andrew Friedman, in front of the manager, Roberts, and the coaching staff, and you play and you perform. And when there's a need for a call-up, your name's on the top of their list, and the manager knows who you're talking about.
Strike called on appeal down the third base umpire. 1 ball, 2 strikes to McKinstry. 1 out, 2 on. Matt Beatty is at second base. Gavin Lux at first, and Zach McKinstry up. Hoffman set at the belt. The right-hander checks the runners. And now the pitch. This one is fisted foul to the far end of the Dodger dugout. Third base side. McKinstry spent the majority of last season at the alternate site over at USC, but spent a few games with the big league club. September 16th is a day he'll never forget. That was the day he made his major league debut. And then 4 days later, September 20th, he got his first major league hit. I'm sure that baseball is proudly displayed somewhere.
Yep. Probably a lot of people that contributed to that moment in time.
Yeah, how many times have you seen it, Ned? The guy makes his major league debut, gets a hit, the family's there, they meet on the field afterward, and they all take pictures, and it's just such a neat tradition in baseball, something that goes unnoticed a lot of the time. And this doesn't go unnoticed as McKinstry bangs it to center field. Rounding third is Beatty. He'll score. Over to third base, Lux. And the Dodgers on the board, an RBI single for Zach McKinstry. It's 2-1.
Really good bit of hitting there. He is so calm in the batter's box. There's not a whole lot of movement to him. Kind of just really kind of easy going right there. Pitch up down the middle of the plate and takes it right where it's pitched. Good bit of hitting right there. That's what you're going to see. He's also got some power he'll have.
Luke Raley, the batter, the left fielder. We've been talking about Zach McKinstry is over there at first base. Kirsten's got more on Zach.
Thanks, Tim. I caught up with Zach McKinstry earlier today, just really about his consistency in the batter's box. And he said, look, emotions are huge in this game. And he studied guys who have been composed and due to their composure were really good in the batting box. So he's been trying since 2019. He's really been trying to put that into his game and developing it more. And when he was in the Double A's, his head coach gave him so much confidence during that year that is what's truly carrying over in his game today.
Calmness at the plate.
That's it. It goes to show you too. It doesn't matter where you come from. It's how you develop as a professional. And he is knocking on the door right now. Hoffman out of the stretch again, and the 1-0 pitch to Raley. Curveball down and in.
Jeff Kent, the great second baseman, used to tell me that his dad told him there's a million ways to win a baseball game. And it may not show up in the box score. It may be how you play defense or how you move a runner or how you make a cutoff or a relay, things like that. McKinstry's one of those guys that I think will help you win games in a lot of ways that don't show up if you're not paying attention.
Raley pops this one up to left. Scott Heineman, the Reds left fielder, underneath it. He'll make the catch. Lux tagging. He'll score and tie the game. So Heineman threw the ball towards second base to keep McKinstry at first, but Lux was able to come in and score easily. It wasn't a very deep fly ball.
No, it was an interesting choice.
I mean, typically at that distance, you're going to go home with it. He's trying to hit the cutoff man. And it looked like Heineman gave a quick look toward third and then just said, no, I'm going to hold the runner.
Yeah. He did give it a glance, especially in spring training. I mean, that's a decent play to make at the plate to see if the execution works.
So here comes Zach Rex. Fouls this one away. Minor league numbers from 2 years ago. 310, 9 homers, 22 runs batted in. Dodgers drafted him out of the University of Kentucky in the 10th round in 2017. Started his collegiate career at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. 2-2 Reds and Dodgers, bottom of the second. 2 out, 1 on. Pitch way high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Billy Gasparino, the amateur scouting director, Dodgers, and his staff, scouts all over, done a tremendous job with their drafts. It's tough to win and develop in the big leagues, and this team is not an old team. They've been successful for a number of years, 8 straight NL West titles. But it's tough to continue to do that. But Gasparino and his group continue to fuel the system. And for every young player you get, you can go after a Trevor Bauer. You can go and trade for a Mookie Betts and then sign a Mookie Betts, because you've got young players coming that will continue to balance out your salary structure and your payroll. Without that, you're not going to be able to continue it and maintain it. But group has done excellent.
Goes back to show the importance of scouting, and especially at the amateur level.
Exactly.
That one tied him up. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Zach Rex.
And really, it's important to know who the people are inside the uniform. You know, the Dodgers are not like any other franchise. Dodgers, Yankees, a couple more here and there. It takes a lot to be a player on that franchise and the accountability that you're held to. and it's not easy. And so you're not just looking at talent, you're looking at the ability to play in front of 50,000 people and to have the expectations of it.
He's able to move up on that ball in the dirt. So, runner at second base in 2 outs. He was heading over there anyway, and just no play. Quick peek in.
It might be another single from a game-ending, inning-ending single.
Might be. rolling those innings. Pitch to Rex. Foul off. You talk about, journeys to get to where you are. This guy right here, again, started at Air Force and then went to Kentucky, but not to play baseball. He was taking courses in engineering and was actually working in a Toyota plant in Georgetown, Kentucky. And after 2 years at Kentucky, he was spotted on campus by one of the baseball coaches. He said, you look like an athlete. Yeah, I play baseball. Well, why don't you come out? And he did. He walked on and hit his way onto the club. He flies to left. Heineman makes the catch, and that's it. But the Dodgers pick up 2 runs on 2 hits. They leave a man. Head into the 3rd inning. Dodgers 2, Reds 2.
Dodgers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Dodgers.
World Champion Dodgers Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr. Feed your happy at Carl's Jr. with the Big Carl or the really Big Carl. Another one of the great scenes at the end of Game 6 of the World Series. Well, Knebel's done after an inning. 2/3 of an inning. And here is Dennis Santana. Dennis threw some big innings for the Dodgers out of the bullpen. And earlier today, Dave Roberts was talking about him, how he thinks he could be a multi-inning guy. Right to Chris Taylor, ramping up off the mound, right to him. 1 pitch, 1 out in the Reds' half of the 3rd.
That's a pretty good play right there. I don't care what time of year it is. Big hop. Right off the mound. Tall hop. Good anticipation. Good release. Throw right on the money.
2-2 score. Cincinnati and Los Angeles. First a couple of meetings in the Cactus League. Next one will be over in Goodyear. Nick Senzel, second time up. First time up, he popped out to Chris Taylor at second base. Santana, San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican Republic. It's known for some pitchers, but it's really known for shortstops and infielders. It's a great area.
He's spent a lot of time down that town.
Which team is there? Aguilas? Is that the team that's in the Dominican League that's in San Pedro de Macorís, I think? Or Estrellas, maybe. One of those two. Might be Estrellas. There's a strike.
When I would go down there in the wintertime, Mariano Duncan, great Dodger player and longtime coach, he'd be taking me around. I'd meet him, and pick me up at the airport, and off we'd go on a scouting venture. And really revered.
Ouch, right off the foot. I'll tell you what, I make a recommendation. Anybody, when travel really picks up again, people are able to travel a little more freely. One of the things that, if you like baseball and you miss baseball in the winter, go to the Dominican Republic.
You're right.
I mean, they've got amazing beaches, number one. Great resorts, and then they've got great baseball with players players you've heard of.
Can't tell you I saw very many beaches, but I did see a lot of baseball.
I saw one beach. I saw some. I was in La Romana and watching Toros del Este against Licey. And who comes to bat for Licey? Hanley Ramirez.
Yep, there you go.
And you know who his teammate was that night? The Reds right fielder, Aristides Aquino. I mean, you never know who you're going to see. It's amazing. It's really good baseball. Here's the pitch. That's outside. And the count now runs full to Nick Senzel. There's Aquino. And Licey is kind of like, you know, the Dodgers of the Dominicans.
Yes.
I mean, they're the most popular team. Three-two pitch. And strike three called. He got him with a curveball. Caught Senzel watching it, and now 2 men away.
Senzel was hoping that the first step would sway the umpire. Unfortunately for him, there was no denying where the pitch was. I remember going up one winter, or going down to the DR one winter and going up to Santiago where Rafael Furcal was living. And spent the day with Rafi, had lunch with Rafi, and we went to a workout. And when the young players, tryout, when the young players saw Rafael Furcal show up, it was wild. I mean, it was like, whoa, royalty just came into the ballpark.
They're heroes.
Yep.
2-2. And Aquino is plunked. Santana hits Aristides Aquino, and a man aboard now with 2 out. Did that not hit him? Or went behind him? I beg your pardon. It did. It went just behind him. So he's still at the plate. One neat thing that I remember about traveling through some of the towns there, I'll say the name of the town was Higüey. It was in between like Punta Cana and La Romana. Seeing the baseball fields on the side of the roads where the kids are playing, and it, believe me, they pay attention. It's just really neat to see how baseball is treated.
There were some days we would drive an hour outside of the capital, San Domingo, and really kind of a desolate area we would be driving to. And one of our scouts would say, hey, we want to work out this player, so, you know, can you come by 11 o'clock? So we'd show up, and there wouldn't be one player there. There'd be 50. Yeah. And the kids get word of a workout, and here they come. Tremendous passion for the sport.
Talk about the Dominican Summer League. How important is that league in terms of developing players, finding players and developing? Ground ball left side off the glove of Lux. And Aquino will be aboard.
Well, you don't have like high school programs, collegiate programs where you can watch players play. So many times when you bring a player into your complex to work out, game effort there, Gavin Lux there, tough play to make. Even if he picks it up, I'm not sure he could do much with it. But it's really the first time a lot of players ever compete and ever actually play the game. You bring them in really kind of based on tools. Kid's got a great arm. Kid looks like he can run. Kid looks like he can hit. But until you really get him in a competitive situation, you don't really know. So your scouting is completely different. And your ability to project is completely different. Good curveball right there.
Alex Blandino takes a strike. 2 outs after the base hit by Aquino. 2-2 the score. Reds and Dodgers, top of the 3rd inning. Another strike delivered. Good pitch by Santana. Really locked up Blandino, and it's 0-2.
Yep. Hitters will tell you how you're pitching. He's thinking about it, but you can't go halfway.
Santana's got the sign. He's set. He kicks. He fires. Curveball taken. Strike 3. Boy, he had that hook working, didn't he? He struck out Senzel looking. Now he gets Blandino looking. And that's a full half inning for the Dodgers. After 2.5, it's the Dodgers 2 and the Reds 2.
Glendale, sign up now to receive the latest team news and ticket information straight to your inbox. Register for Dodgers email alerts by visiting dodgers.com/newsletter today.
Some future readers right there. Maybe some current readers. Right now, they're not reading, though. They're enjoying themselves out of the hill. The outfield at Camelback Ranch. 2-2 ball game, bottom of the third inning. New pitcher is T.J. Antone. He takes over after 2 innings for Hoffman. And Chris Taylor, top of the order, starts things off.
Going back one more time to the DR and Rafael Furcal. Negotiated a lot of contracts in my time. And the second time we signed Rafael, players used to always contribute to the Dodgers Foundation. And so we got to that part of the negotiation, and he says, I want to do something different with you this year. I want to give a lot of money to the foundation, but I also want to know if the Dodgers will help me get a fire truck.
A fire truck?
Because the little town he grew up in did not have a fire truck. So there's a firehouse, and I apologize for not knowing what the number is, but it's right off of 110 downtown, and they were retiring a fire truck. And so we ended up getting a fire truck from them. They painted it in Dodger colors, put his name and his number on the side of it, and then we had to figure out how to get it there. And that's where my
minor
dear
detail,
my dear friend and great ambassador for the game of baseball in L.A. and the Dodgers, and I'm going to miss him every day, Mr. Lasorda, said, "You got that truck? I got a way to get it there."
Taylor chases a breaking ball and strikes out, so one gone for the Dodgers in the bottom of the third.
Maybe one of the coolest and also one of the most unique contract negotiations in about 25 years worth of doing it.
That's amazing. Max Muncy, the batter. We were talking about the DR, we're talking about Licey, and he found us on Twitter. Carlos Jose Lugo, the assistant GM of Licey. El Tigres sent us a nice note. Thank you, Carlos. Appreciate it. We hope to get down there again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, 1 pitch from Antone. That was not a strike, safe to say, as Max Muncy had to run out of the way. T.J. Antone, 27 years of age, out of Mansfield, Texas. Pitch outside.
Dodgers were one of the first teams to have a complex in the DR, and the O'Malley family had the vision, and Ralph Avila, great scout and a dear friend of Tommy's, put it together and helped build a complex out near the airport, near Santo Domingo. And a few years ago, Janet Marie Smith, who's done tremendous work at Dodger Stadium and other facilities around Major League Baseball, but tremendous at Dodger Stadium, also down at Campos Las Palmas, and took a facility that had been through hurricanes and had been through a lot of wear and tear and made it into a palace in the DR. She does such tremendous work. If they ever have a Hall of Fame wing at baseball for stadium and architecture, she ought to be first ballot.
2-2 from Antone. Curveball a little high. Stevenson tried to frame it back in the zone. And the home plate umpire, Nick Lentz, said it's still a ball. So that'll fill the count 3-2. Muncy 0 for 1, fly to left in the first. Pitch. And it's bounced foul right side. We were talking about his home runs. He had 3 postseason home runs, but over his career, there may be, I don't know, maybe his most memorable home run would have to be in Game 3 of the World Series in 2018 in the 13th inning, or the 18th. 18th inning. Yeah. He just 1-0 game. Well, he just missed one in the 13th inning.
Yes,
goes down on strikes. He just missed one down the line, right field. But in the 18th, he won it on a walk-off.
Fastball couldn't catch up to that one, but he'll catch up to a bundle this season. You know, again, as you watch baseball and you watch a lot of it, when you get to October with a guy like Max Muncy, you can never take that at bat easy if you're the opposition, because he can take you out. He can take you out any direction. He took you out in left center, and took the Red Sox out in left center that night.
Nathan Eovaldi.
Yep.
Was the pitcher. 1-0 to Justin Turner. Turner 0 for 1, flying to center in the first.
Speaking of Nathan Eovaldi, of all the players I dealt, trading him was one of the toughest things I ever did. Just a solid young man, great arm, had a good, obviously a good chance to make a lot of money in baseball and be a great pitcher. But really, I traded him to Miami for Hanley. And when they wouldn't budge off of Nate Eovaldi, I tell you what, it was a rough one. And the team was in St. Louis. I had to call him. It was like middle of the night. I sent Rick Honeycutt up and Vance Lovelace, who was with the team at the time, traveling.
Turner skies it to right center. Over there to get it, Senzel. Center fielder puts it away. For the final out of the bottom of the third of the 7-inning game tonight in Glendale, Arizona. Heading to the fourth. Dodgers 2, Reds 2. Stream every regular season game live or on demand with MLB.tv online or on your favorite supported devices, as well as select spring training games. Blackouts and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. With Ned Colletti, I'm Tim Neverett. This is Bobby Miller. First-round pick last year out of Louisville.
Excited to see him tonight.
Watch Bobby Miller pitch. This is a guy that Dave Roberts said he has watched every bullpen he's thrown so far this spring, and the same thing for Landon Knack, who we'll also see tonight. Another one of the Dodger pitching prospects. But Bobby Miller, really good prospect. He's wearing number 90 now, but chances are this may be the only time he wears it in spring training. It'll get lower as time goes on. Bouncing ball to short. Stevenson is out as Lux throws on over. One pitch and one out. Good way to start for Miller.
I've heard so many good things about this young man.
29th overall pick last year out of Louisville. Two-two score, Reds and Dodgers. Top of the fourth inning. Jonathan India, the second baseman, who struck out looking first time up. He takes the ball. Now, Bobby grew up outside of Chicago, big Cub fan. And he had 2 seasons ago one of the best games he's pitched in college. It came in a super regional matchup for Louisville against East Carolina. He had a no-hitter going into the 9th inning before he finally allowed a single, but it was a dominating win, 12-0 over East Carolina, and that sent him to the World Series, College World Series, as he plunks India. And India will head down to first base. But that particular night would have been Bobby Miller's night all over the country in terms of pitching. It was still Bobby Miller's night. But as far as the national story, it happened to be a kid from Vanderbilt named Kumar Rocker pitching against Duke. Same night, struck out 19, no hitter against Duke, and then Vanderbilt went on to the World Series. So Bobby had a great night. And he's had a lot of great nights, and I think he's going to have a lot of great nights ahead.
Yep.
Pitch to Chesler Cuthbert is high. But this year he will get to participate in professional competition against other teams for the first time. So the minor league seasons will begin in May, early May. There's a ground ball by Cuthbert down to short. Lux flips to Taylor on to Muncy at first. That's the double play. 6-4-3 ends the inning. Nice tidy work by last year's #1 pick for the Dodgers. Halfway through the fourth at Camelback Ranch. Reds 2, Dodgers 2. That's the coat I saw Ned walking in here with tonight.
Yes.
Dodger poncho. That's a neat item.
Very cool.
They are very cool. That's thus the blanket. Well, here we go. Bottom of the fourth inning. 2-2 score. And Will Smith is up. Smith hitting .289, or did last season. So Will Smith can't get rid of the walk-up music for the Fresh Prince. That was Russell Martin who started that 2 years ago when Will made his debut. He said there's only one song you should have as your walk-up song as he walks back to the dugout, striking out. He said it's got to be the Fresh Prince.
Number 45, Beatty.
Good pitch right there. Caught the corner. Throws the hitter. Antone's one of those guys that Reds will use as a starter, as a reliever. 27 years old.
Beatty takes outside, ball one. Matt tonight has a plate appearance, no at bats. He walked and scored the first Dodger run in the second inning. And he swings and drills one toward left center field. It is slicing. That's going to get down. Senzel barehands it, fires it back on the infield. And Matt Beatty's got a base hit.
This ball hangs up there just a little bit, but not enough. A little bit of a hesitation start there by Senzel in center field. He kind of rounded a little bit.
Gavin Lux is 1 for 1. So far in the early going, has been swinging a very good bat. Typically this time of the year, you'd think the pitchers are a little ahead of the hitters, and in a lot of cases they are, especially some of the frontline starters. But Gavin Lux doesn't look like he's behind at all. Missing the breaking ball, and it's 0-2.
Like that he just stepped out right there. Kind of resetting a little bit. Can't be anxious.
Stretch by Antone. Pitch. Again, the breaking ball got him. So TJ Antone's got a little bit of a hook going right now. 2 strikeouts in the inning. 4 in the game. Struck out 2 in the third. Now he struck out 2 here in the fourth. Antone out of TCU. Played for head coach Jim Schlossnagle and the Horned Frogs down in Fort Worth, Texas. Tell you what, that program's turned out some pitchers and some players. Think of Matt Carpenter with the Cardinals, TCU Horned Frog. He's one. Jake Arrieta, another one. They've got a long list of guys. Pitch to McKinstry and for a strike. Reds made the postseason last year for the first time since 2013. There were 2 games over 500 at the end of the season, 31-29 in the wild card round, and did not score a run in the postseason.
They've had a tough stretch. 2 games over 500 last year. You got to go back to 213, 212 really to have good Red teams. 212, they were sitting 1 run away from going on to the LCS. Had a 2-0 lead.
Strike 3 called as McKinstry watched it, and 3 strikeouts in the inning. How about TJ Antone for the Reds? 5 strikeouts. Pretty good effort for the right-hander. We'll head to the 5th inning. Cincinnati 2 and the Dodgers 2. Justin Turner, Max Muncy calling it a night as they head off to the Dodger clubhouse. Maybe to the fans on the way. Chris Taylor joining them as well. Started at second base, made his spring debut tonight. 2-2 the score, Reds and Dodgers. And back to the bullpen we go. Left-hander Scott Alexander. 13 appearances last season. He went 2-0. ERA 2.92, and the opponents hit .214 against him. Sinker ball pitcher from the left side. He gets the ground ball right away. 1 pitch and 1 out as Max Schrock grounds out up the middle.
That is Scott Alexander right there. Deuce a ground ball.
He takes over for Dennis Santana, who had a successful outing through 17 pitches. Here's D. Strange Gordon facing Scott Alexander. Cardinal Newman High School in Santa Rosa. And then went to the Royals by way of Sonoma State. Rohnert Park. 6th round pick of Kansas City. Left on left matchup. And Gordon hits a bounding ball to the right
tough
side.
Play right here.
Alexander has to cover, and the toss made in haste, and the D beats it out.
It's kind of the only way to make that toss in haste.
We'll get some of these changes as we move along here. Vargas at first base. DJ Peters is out in right field. DJ had himself a game against Colorado 2 days ago, didn't he?
Oh. Offense and defense.
Alexander looks over at first, now comes to the plate, pitching to Heineman. DJ Peters has a power stroke, trying to make that jump to the next level. Defensively, he looked good too, really good.
Yes.
Well, 1 out, 1 on, and this one hits Heineman in the foot. So now 2 men on.
Got that protective guard on that foot. Don't know if it hit the guard or hit the foot. Looked like by the reaction of his face, it missed the guard.
Nick Senzel, 3rd time up. He's 0 for 2. Popped up to Taylor at second base in the 1st inning, then struck out looking in the 3rd. Dennis Santana got him. Santana looked good.
Yes. Good curveball. Good command of it. Needs that pitch.
Alexander wants time, and he wants to have a visit with the backstop, Tim Fedorovich, who has come off the bench.
FedEx.
Yeah, he overnighted himself back to the Dodgers this year. Strange Gordon at second base and Senzel at the plate. 1 out. The pitch. That's low. Well, the Reds hoping that they can come back and have a decent season this year again. Maybe make the postseason again. Central Division in the National League. Right now, looks like the Cubs and everybody else. There goes Strange Gordon down to third base. No throw from Fedorovich. Double steal as Gordon goes to third, and Heineman pulls in safely behind him at second.
No chance right there. Especially with D. Gordon as the lead runner. But you're right about the Reds. As I was saying, the last half inning, been a struggle for them for a long time. They were 1 run away from getting to the LCS in 2-12, and Scotty Rowland, a tremendous third baseman, muffed the ball in the infield against the Giants. Giants ended up winning that game, winning the next 2. They were that close. Won 97 games that year. Went over 90 the next year. But since then, it's been tough going for a proud franchise. And I think credit with being the first professional franchise in baseball.
Senzel fouls this one back, and it's 3-1. This will be the 10th pitch for Alexander in the Reds' 5th. Another foul ball. Yeah, and in 13 they were one and done in the wild card game in Pittsburgh. I mentioned Russell Martin's name. He was a big reason.
Was that the blackout game?
That was the blackout game. 40,000 people dressed in black. I remember on the I was working radio on that game, but I remember on the national telecast when I watched it back, Ron Darling said when he saw the crowd and the enthusiasm of the crowd all dressed in black, he said, this is what 20 years of frustration looks like. Yeah, there is a walk. So now the bases are full of Reds. But it was Russell Martin who had a big hand in that, because Johnny Cueto was on the mound and the fans were chanting his name, Cueto, Cueto, over and over again. Kind of a reminder of the '86 World Series when they were doing that to Strawberry. Barrel. Aristides Aquino takes low, but while this was going on, it was deafening. The noise was deafening. Cueto dropped the baseball. He literally was on the rubber, and he dropped the baseball, rolled down the front slope of the mound, and you could hear maybe 30,000 of the 40,000 laughing. You never hear that at a ballpark.
No.
The very next pitch, he went, picked up the ball, climbed up on top of the rubber. The very next pitch, Russell Martin put in the left field seats, and I thought the stadium was going to come down. I thought the bridge, Kaleni Bridge, might collapse. It was an incredible atmosphere. And a lot of guys from that 13 Reds team remember that game. I mean, Todd Frazier talks about it still, how much he looked at that one game, and it was very disappointing for Cincinnati. There's a ground ball by Aquino left side. There's one. There's two. Around the horn, double play gets Alexander out of a little trouble. Nothing across for the Reds in the 5th. Still 2-2. Dodgers and Reds. Have you stocked up on your new World Series Champions gear yet? The Top of the Park store is now open Tuesday through Saturday at Dodger Stadium. See Instagram at Dodgers Top of the Park for store hours and details on how to purchase for home delivery. Here is Cionel Perez. 7 games last season with the Reds. 2.84 ERA, held the opponents to a 2.69 average. 24-year-old from La Habana in Cuba. And he is facing Luke Raley. Luke is out of Lake Erie College. Takes a swing and a miss there. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Mr. Perez got a live arm right there.
Cionel Perez, left-hander, goes at it and just guns one past Raley. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Perez spent the last 2 seasons with the Astros. Been in their organization for a while. And Raley gets around on one and puts it down the right field line, and it will be caught by the right fielder Crook.
Additional changes for the Reds at shortstop, number 38, Jose Garcia. At third base, number 98,
There'll be some good communication on that one.
Narciso Crook making the catch. As we are in the part of a spring training game where it's kind of like hockey, free substitution. Zach Rex takes a healthy cut and misses. So 1 out, base is empty, 2-2 the score. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. On what was a very windy afternoon and early evening, the wind has calmed down quite a bit. Cionel Perez fires up high and away. I mean, look at that. Earlier today, those flags were starched, blowing out at an upward angle. Southwest winds at least 26 miles an hour at game time. Good sweeping curveball from Perez. Rex hits a lot of line drives. And that one right at the bottom of the zone for a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, it was at the bottom of the zone. Might have been a little bit below the bottom of the zone.
Well, you see the catchers nowadays, they catch the ball on the way up. They try to steal a strike like that. Sometimes they'll allege that they do it. The umpires will tell you a different story, but some people think the catchers can do that. That's why you'll see catchers down on a knee. Not in this situation, as Rex goes the other way, and that slices out of play. But you'll see the catchers setting up down on a knee sometimes, just kneeling behind the plate, and then with the low target, and as the ball's on the way, they'll catch it on the way up.
Or how about Manny Sangan with the outstretched leg?
Tony Pena.
Tony Pena.
Yeah. The pitch, and a curveball rolled to the right side. And Rex is out. So 2 men out for the Dodgers now in the 5th.
Center field for the Reds, number 67, T.J. Friedel. Left fielder is number 66, Dwight Smith Jr. Right fielder, number 73, Narciso Crook. Now catching number 82, Davey Grugio.
Sheldon Noisy came over from the Oakland Athletics.
Sheldon Noisy.
Deal for Adam Kolarek. Infielder, he was the DH last night against the Giants. A couple of years ago in AAA, hit some pretty good authority and also good glove guy, especially at the corner infield spots. Perez tries the backdoor curveball and misses.
Again, another player that can play more than one position. It's almost a requirement, this club, to be able to have versatility to you.
You see the shortstop for the Reds, Errol Robinson, former Dodger farmhand. Now with the Reds organization. We saw him getting some reps in 2019. Actually quite a few times at Camelback Ranch and on the road coming in the late innings, and now he's doing the same for Cincinnati. 2-0 pitch to Noisy. Big curveball is high. CNL Perez defected from Cuba in May of 2015. He was 19 years old. This was after he had become one of the top performers in Serie Nacional in Cuba. I see with a big cut and a miss.
Years ago, Cuba was part of the Winter Baseball League. We had Mexico and Venezuela, Puerto Rico, the DR, and all the players that were going down to play winter ball wanted to go to Havana.
Well, Noisy strikes out. Dodgers gone in order in the 5th. We head to the 6th inning in Glendale. Dodgers 2, Reds 2. Pretty good outing by Perez. Dodgers 2, Reds 2. Top of the 6th inning. Ned Colletti, I'm Tim Everett. Kirsten Watson with us as well. Here is Garrett Clevenger, one of the new acquisitions by the Dodgers, former Oregon Duck. His big league debut, had 1 appearance with the Phillies last year. He'd been with the Phillies organization right from almost the get-go. He started with the Orioles. He was traded as a minor leaguer. And now Clevenger will face the Reds here in the top of the 6th inning of a 2-2 game. Designated hitter Alex Blandino, who is 1 for 2 with a double.
Getting Clevenger to really kind of master his command would really be a great asset for this club. Got 83 strikeouts in 51 innings. At almost 1.5 an inning. But the 34 walks, got to tighten that up a little bit.
And a ground ball right away, and picking it up is Elliott Soto. He throws on to first where Vargas is there. And there's one pitch and one out. So Blandino grounds out on the first pitch from Clevenger.
Shortstop number 38, Jose Garcia.
Jose Garcia. A bat on the spot of Tyler Stevenson. Dodgers infield with Soto at short, Bush at second. Bush, another #1 draft choice a couple of years ago, and then Vargas at first. Peters, Outman, and Raley in the outfield. So Outman came in. Outman had a game last night, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Great defensive plays.
Came up with a big hit late in the game, too. Tie it up.
Garcia, the hitter here, went right from high A to the big leagues last year. Struggled when he got there, but really fast-tracked him.
Garcia bounds it down toward third base. And a strong throw across gets it.
Goodness.
Noisy comes up with a good play and shows off a strong arm.
Yes. Excellent arm right here. Comes in. Fields it a little bit unorthodox right there, but really great arm. Also ended the last inning starting at that 5-4-3 double play. That's some arm strength right there.
Here's Errol Robinson. Very familiar with Camelback Ranch. Dodger farmhand. Clevenger deals low. Clevenger out of Lawrence, Kansas. Third round pick by the Orioles. Out of Oregon. Born in Baldwin City, Kansas. Led his high school team to the state championship 2009. Was very good later on during his college years, playing in the summer in the prestigious Cape Cod League for Falmouth. Usually that's part of the journey for a lot of college players.
Yep.
Really good ones.
It's a good league of separation. Although most everybody who goes to the Cape can play.
Clevenger was part of the three-way deal between Tampa Bay and Philadelphia. That's how he ended up in a Dodger uniform. That deal happened on the 29th of December. Pitch to Robinson. That's low. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Errol Robinson. And from the pitching perspective, fastball. He's got pretty good velocity on the fastball. He can run it up there in the high 90s at times. Curveball, slider, change. That's the repertoire for newcomer Garrett Clevenger. And time requested at home plate. And some pitching news, Ned. Tomorrow, Josiah Gray was scheduled to start the game against the Cubs tomorrow night. We'll be on same time, TV only tomorrow night. But JoJo Gray will now move to a later part in that game. He will pitch tomorrow, but he won't start. A swing and a miss, and Robinson out on strikes. Jimmy Nelson will get the start tomorrow instead. Clayton Kershaw is going to go Friday against Kansas City. Bauer again Saturday against the Padres. So Clevenger gets the strikeout. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Cincinnati 2, Dodgers 2. Make sure you stay with us after the game for Access Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by your Southern California Ford dealers. Man gets a souvenir tonight. Reds 2, Dodgers 2 as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. See Michael Busch face a new reliever, Josh Osich. He is a veteran of a number of teams, most recently the Cubs. He was on the South Side 2 years ago with the White Sox. He's also been with the Giants. Had a brief period of time with Boston. And inside to Bush. And Michael Bush, one of those players you want to keep an eye on, out of the University of North Carolina, first-round draft pick, 31st overall, 2 years ago, 2019.
Seen the last 2 first-round picks.
And he swings and drives one to center, but it's going to be right there for the Red center fielder.
The right fielder, number 70, DJ Peters.
There's one out. Here's DJ Peters. Had a home run 2 games ago against the Rockies. And afterward, we had a great fan on Twitter send me a video of DJ while with Rancho Cucamonga in a game against the San Jose Giants. Madison Bumgarner pitching on a rehab stint. And Peters got him for not 1 but 2 in the same inning. Went deep twice. I was watching the video of it. I said, you got to be kidding. But he did it. He's got tremendous power.
Mad Bum's a great pitcher, but Kike Hernandez used to take him out. Of course, Max Muncy. Get it out of the water.
A big swing and a miss. Yeah, Max told him, go get it out of the ocean, but he didn't know it was a bay.
Well, it's connected to the ocean.
Still water. One of the funnier lines from Max. 0-2 to DJ Peters. And that's low, 1-2.
Max was just circling the bases. Wasn't looking to incite anything, but competitor and Mad Bum, he didn't like it.
Sign down and Osich ready to deliver. And Peters watches it just inside. 2-2. And so it's the Cubs tomorrow. Again, Jimmy Nelson will start for the Dodgers. We will see prospect, very highly thought of prospect, Josiah Gray. Just goes by JoJo around the club. That one is low. And tomorrow will mark the return of the old 1-6, Rick Monday. He'll be in the booth tomorrow night. I have confirmed that the Eagle has landed. He is in town.
During last summer, I was cleaning out a lot of stuff, and I came across a picture of Rick Monday and me.
And Peters takes the walk.
From his Cub days, which were at least a few years ago.
Couple. Maybe 345 or so.
First player ever drafted. Rick Monday.
Yep. First one ever drafted ever.
Yep.
Now, James Houtman had himself a game last night, both offensively and defensively. Really good game. Drove in the tying run. Houtman out of Redwood City, California. Fouls this one away. Over 4 seasons in high school. Now consider how much you grow from a freshman to a senior.
Yep.
His batting average for 4 years at Junipero Serra High School was .305. Ages 15 through 18. And Outland fouls it back. He also played football there. He was a middle linebacker and a tight end.
Is that Sarah High?
Yeah.
San Mateo?
No, Junipo Serra High.
They had another quarterback that came out of there.
Who's that?
A guy named Tom Brady.
Yeah, I heard of him.
Yeah.
Had a pretty good year again.
And some other baseball players come out of there, too. The late, great Jimmy Fregosi and Greg Jeffries, Barry Bonds.
Altman hits one up in the air. Down the left field side. Will it stay fair? No. You know, Brady played baseball, too. He was drafted by the Expos. You know that? Of course you know that.
I actually signed Brady to a one-day contract years ago.
Did you really?
Yeah, he's a big San Francisco fan. I happened to be working there for a minute or two, and he came to spring training and wanted to work out. And he said, sure, after we get done taking BP in this, but we'll have to sign you to a fake contract just to say we did it.
Altman was a 7th-round pick, 2018. And since he's been drafted, he's been playing center field and learning a lot about the position. Seems like he did the way he played defense in Rome did last night. He covered it for 7 innings last night.
Played it well. He reads the ball off the bat pretty good, which is really the key to playing any defensive position.
He was in Great Lakes, got to play for John Shoemaker, who is one of the unsung heroes in the Dodger organization. How many years has he been in this organization? And he has developed so many players. So many players.
One of the best people I know.
I met John when he was the AAA manager 1 year in Vegas, and he's been all over the organization.
Yes.
And you got to have those guys in the organization that are so important.
He's one of those people that all he says is, tell me what you need and I'll go get it done.
1-2 pitch is slapped down the left side. That'll go out of play. So Altman still at the plate. Dodgers and Reds deadlocked at 2 in the bottom of the 6th inning. This game's going 7 tonight. What we have seen so far is, regardless of who's winning, the games are typically going a full 7, so the pitchers can all get their work in. So if the home team was ahead after 6.5, they'll come out anyway in the bottom of the inning. That's at least what we've seen so far. Pitch inside Altman. 2-2. 1 on, 1 out. A lot of things that those guys have to remember now with these relaxing of spring training rules. Up until 13th of March, they have to let everybody know 24 hours ahead of time how many innings they're going to play. Typically there'll be 7. You can play 9 if the managers agree to it, but you can also play as few as 5.
Very successful tandem right there. Dave Roberts, Bob Guerin. Managed a lot of victory.
This will be the 9th pitch from Osich coming to James Altman. And he pulls this one, just fouled on the first base side. You talk about Bob Guerin. You ever have a rules question?
He could have wrote the book.
Just say, hey, Bob, tell me about this. How does this work? He doesn't need to look them up. Bob knows the rules. And what a valuable thing to have, you know, for a bench coach to be able to think analytically like that and be able to have that rule book digested. That's in the dirt. That'll fill up the count. Peters down to second base. So Altman having some kind of an at-bat here. He's hit a few balls hard, but foul. He's worked a full count. Now he's got a man in scoring position, the potential go-ahead run. And this will be the 11th pitch coming to him. Osich has thrown 18 in the inning. He'll throw 19. 11 of them will be to Altman. And he walks it.
It was outstanding at bat there for a young player. Got a veteran major league pitcher. Wait him out.
First baseman number 67, Miguel Vargas.
Now Miguel Vargas' turn.
That's a lot of RBIs for 7 home runs.
77. It's over 10 RBIs per home run. I know my math isn't that good, but
well, it tells me. I mean, you know, somebody that drives in 85 runs and hits 30 home runs is driving in himself 30 out of the 85. But this kid drove in 70 people besides himself 2 years ago. Math major.
Miguel Vargas out of Cuba. And he drills one down to third. Reds trying to go around the horn. They're not going to do it. Vargas beats it at first. Looked like a neighborhood play at second. And Peters is down to third base. 2 outs, runners at the corners. Watch Robinson on the turn here. Was he on the bag? I don't think so. This might give us a good look. Good hustle by Vargas.
I think if this was the regular season, I think they'd be looking at their play at second base.
Yeah, we'd be in a pause right now.
Yes.
But no instant replay used, at least at this point in spring training. Tim Fedorovich. Strike call to the outside corner. Let's take a look. Here it is. Did he hold it? I think
he did.
He got it.
Yeah.
He's
Excellent.
Just so smooth over there.
Excellent turn.
Last year, 160 average. Had 4 home runs with the Rangers. 1 ball and 1 strike. He was originally drafted by the Red Sox in the 7th round, going back to 2008. Another North Carolina Tar Heel. He's picked up a lot of luggage tags along the way, hasn't he?
Yep.
Reds, Astros, Giants, Cubs, Dodgers, Rangers. Professional catcher.
25th pitch of the inning right here.
Osich set at the belt, the pitch, 2-1. This one is fisted foul and out of play. Fedorovich wasn't drafted out of high school and had to earn his stripes at college at North Carolina. Ended up playing in the World University game, so he got some international experience along the way. But as a pro, he's pretty much been everywhere. Full count, 3-2. Go ahead runs at third. 2 down, bottom of the 6th. Veteran Fedorovich, chance to drive him in. J. Peters at third base. Outman at first. Pitch. Swung on and drilled to left center. That's going to get down for a hit, and the Dodgers are going to lead. Peters scores. And coming to the plate is Vargas.
Great hustle right there.
Vargas scores from first base. And the Dodgers now lead at 4-2 on a 2-out, 2-run double by Fedorovich.
Osich struggling here, trying to get through the inning. More than 25 pitches already. Fed squares it up. Pretty good base runner right there.
Well, that's going to do it. David Bell says uncle on the inning, and the Reds will roll it. Dodgers now lead at 4-2, heading to the 7th. The Reds, top of the 7th inning. In this case tonight, it's the top of the last. And there's Landon Knack. Second round pick last year. 23 years old, out of East Tennessee State. Really good fastball. He can run it up around 98. And a very well thought of prospect here in the Dodger organization. So Landon Knack, he's another one that Dave Roberts said he hasn't missed a bullpen session yet for Knack. Chesler Cuthbert will be the first to face him. And Knack's pitch. That's in there for a strike. Well, Cincinnati had some trouble on the mound. Josh Osich had 29 pitches. That's why manager David Bell decided to roll that inning over, even though the inning wasn't over. Something you can do in spring training right now. You talk about pitch counts tonight. Julio Urias went just 1 inning through 27. Corey Knebel 1 inning 21. Santana had 17. Bobby Miller in his spring debut had 6. Cuthbert strikes out. Good work to start for Knack. Look at that.
Really hard slider right there. All these young pitchers we've seen tonight, they've really got some composure to them. For really probably their first big league spring training game. Really auditioning for one of the early times in front of Dave Roberts and Bob Guerin. A lot of composure, a lot of confidence in what they do.
Mark Pryor, he's got some pupils, doesn't he? Dodger pitching prospects.
Yep.
He's done a great job since taking over for Rick Honeycutt. He was the understudy, really learned a lot from Honey, and still in contact, obviously, very closely with him. One. Cut it a miss. Friedel, the center fielder, could not catch up to that Landon Knack offering. In spite of the fact the Dodgers are leading, if this score stays the way it is, there will be a bottom of the 7th, we're told. So stand by for that. This one flied to left. Drifting with it is Ryan Noda, and he couldn't make the catch.
Tough play. Kept drifting. Ball kept tailing.
Oh, right in the heel.
Yep.
It's off the left-handed bat with a right-handed pitcher throwing. That ball slices down the line. Not an easy play. Well, 1-2, and Knack will go back to work against Friedel. Two balls, 2 strikes. Before going to East Tennessee State, he ended up pitching in junior college too, Walters State Junior College, where he really overmatched some hitters there.
You can see it.
A big fastball to throw a curveball, so he'll work on that off-speed pitch just like that. It's fouled off. Now we've seen Bobby Miller, first-round pick, in the same draft, second-round pick. Knack. Now, from the development standpoint, Ned, what are these two high draft choices going to be required to do in their first year this year, really, of full competitive baseball? Oh, nice pitch, strikes him out. Friedel gone on strikes, 2 down.
Well, you don't want them doing too much too quick, and obviously they got tremendous upside and talent, and so you got to kind of keep a little bit of a governor on them to make sure that you're not asking too much too quick from them. And you really, in my opinion, you work on command. You work on really the command of your pitches, throwing strikes. You don't want a lot of walks. You don't want to fall behind a lot of hitters.
And Dominic Smith Jr. take inside ball 1.
His dad and I go way back. His dad was a runner-up in the Rookie of the Year to his teammate Jerome Walton back in Chicago, and 1989. His dad could do stand-up comedy.
This one fouled back. I'm sure he wasn't laughing when I called Dwight Dominic just a moment ago. Dwight Smith Jr. Beg your pardon. A 2-1. Base is clear. 2 men out. And Landon Knack delivering.
I just realized when I said 1989, that is 32 years ago.
Blink of an eye, Ned.
Where'd it go?
It's only a number.
Huh. Not some days.
I know. I know what you mean. 3-1. This one's belted foul.
Turn on that one.
So Dwight Smith Jr. with a full count. Well, we look forward to seeing more of Landon Knack, Bobby Miller.
Yep.
Pitchers like that continue to matriculate
Bush
through the Dodger
as a hitter.
system. Yeah, Michael Bush, who's at second base. The first rounder. Inside, trying to lock him up, but that's called ball 4.
That was really a good pitch, though. It was a ball, but that was a really, really good pitch. Probably a better pitch at 2-2, so you'd have one more left. But that is a tough pitch to lay off. Because for most of it, it looks like you can do something with it.
Oh, Devi Grullon. Throw to first. Smith is back. Grullon, good-looking right-handed hitter. Looks like he's got some power. As Knack comes set, fires it right past him for a strike. 0-1 to Grullon. That's great. You know, one thing that's nice about doing the telecast at night during spring training from the West Coast, pretty much the only game on, right?
Yes.
So you hear from a lot of people, and you know, one of the great people in all of baseball, former Reds broadcaster George Graham. Got a note from George tonight. Still watching his Reds.
One of the all-time best human beings.
Pitch up high, and Grullon now ahead in the count, 2-1.
For many years, he was the host at the Hall of Fame, and just tremendous introductions. Every player there, priceless.
Pitch coming to Grullon. He hits one high in the air, deep right center. Outman back, and this one's gone. Thought he looked like he had some power, and he displayed it. And now this game is tied at 4 on a 2-out, 2-run home run. So Knack got the first 2, one swinging, one looking, but that 2-out walk hurt. And now Grullon with the home run.
That is a strong young man right there. Pitch on the outer half. Takes it out into the garden or the forest. Half garden, half forest.
Well, you keep going, you're going to run into the orange trees and the grapefruit trees that are out there by the clubhouse. That's one of the neat features at Camelback Ranch. Kind of a tip of the cap, I guess, to Vero Beach.
Yep. Tried to do a lot of things that were reminiscent of a great spring training facility, historic spring training facility in Florida. You think of all the great Dodgers that trained there and broke into the big leagues out of their spring training camps in Vero.
2-1 pitch. Strike called. High strike to Lopez. Game number 98. It's the 7th inning. Late night. You're only thinking, come on up. I don't get many of these at bats. It's hard enough.
Yep.
That's the way the game goes. Lopez puts it on the ground the other way inside of third. And he'll take a big turn around first base with a 2-out single. And now the Reds have the go-ahead run on in the 7th.
27 pitch inning.
That might be it. Yep, that's it. Wave the white flag on the top of the 7th. And we'll go to the bottom of the 7th when we return. Dodgers 4, Reds 4. 3 outs to get. Game 4-4. Former Cincinnati Bearcat Art Warren comes on to pitch. Out of Ashland, Ohio. Former draft choice of the Seattle Mariners. Made his big league debut with Seattle. Now pitching pretty much at home. And the right-hander. Try to keep the score where it is. 4th game of the Cactus League season. Here's Elliott Soto. Told you he spent 10 years in the minor leagues. And
Yep.
you spend that much time in the minors without a shot, you've got to have some serious patience. But he has it, and it paid off. He got to debut in the big leagues last year with the Angels. Here's the 0-1. Fouled off, and it's 0-2. Yeah, Warren started at Cincinnati with the Bearcats his college career. Then he transferred to Division II Ashland College so he could play right away. Then ended up having some injury issues. Tommy John surgery. Oh, that bat just blew up. And that ball fouled off at the end of the Reds dugout. Warren possesses some heavy speed, heavy velocity. Get it up to about 101 at best. He just made toothpicks out of Soto's bat.
You want to know how hard he throws? Ask the bat. It's got some life to it, too.
You remember those nights when Aroldis Chapman used to come in Cincinnati?
Oh. Long stride.
103 miles an hour. And that was a long time, I think, when he would make that jog from the bullpen out in deep center field there in Cincinnati, Great American Ballpark. By the time he'd get to the mound and the music that was playing, everything else, I mean, it took a while, and the drama set in. Did he check his swing? No, he did not. He's rung up on strikes, so Warren gets the strikeout.
Really good 1-2 pitch right there. You got a couple pitches to play with if you're the pitcher. You can expand the strike zone. And it's just what he did right here. Soto realized it a little bit too late that that pitch was going to be unhittable.
So Ryan Noda, left fielder up. By the way, while we have a moment, been a little late in our best wishes tonight to Aaron Boone, Yankees manager.
Yes.
Had a pacemaker put in today at a hospital in Tampa. Apparently everything's fine. So wishing Booney the best. You know, one thing Aaron Boone really loves doing is imitations of people.
Does he?
Yeah, he's really good. Not just batting stances. Now, he did that on TV.
Yes.
But I'm talking about other imitations.
Yep.
See him by the batting cage with nobody around. He'll give you a couple.
We got the Boone family, which is 3 generations in baseball. You got David Bell managing Cincinnati. 3 generations of baseball. Got Jerry Hurston, our teammate.
Yep.
Same thing.
3-0 pitch. That's outside, ball 4. So now the winning run's aboard. Walk, so Warren got the strikeout. Now issues a walk. We'll see what Omar Estevez can do. As you're watching these spring training games, some of these names may get more familiar to you, like Estevez and Noda and Soto, Rayleigh, Rexy. These are guys that you'll see mixing in not only as starters from time to time, but predominantly from the later innings on. Well, that one crossed him up. No advance by the base runner, Noda. Noda the lead at first. And Estevez waits. 1-0 pitch from Warren. Breaking ball, strike call. Well, tomorrow night, Jimmy Nelson will start for the Dodgers. Trevor Williams for the Cubs. This one into shallow right center. 2 men out. Monday will join me for the telecast tomorrow night. And Sheldon Noisy with 2 down. The winning run at first. Dodgers are unbeaten in their last 9 spring training games. Granted, they tied last night, and they're an out away from tying here, but they haven't lost dating back to last spring training before it was shut down.
They've really pitched well, too, for the first 4 games. A lot of good pitching, whether it's veterans and Cy Young Award winners or whether it's kids trying to make an impression.
He takes the inside. You know, the wins aren't the most important thing, and it's crazy to say that in sport, but the wins are a byproduct of good play.
No doubt. And you like to win in spring training, but you really like the performances, the one-on-one performances, the hitter-pitcher matchups, to see how your young players do against veterans and vice versa.
Everybody clap your hands.
Every at-bat is its own chapter.
Just a note on the pitching, too. In the first 4 spring training games, the Dodgers have limited the opposition to a 189 average. The opposition 17 for 90. And collectively, they have a 1.67 ERA so far. And Noisy drills one into the gap. Noda around second on his way to third, and the Dodgers have the winning run 90 feet away.
He really squares this pitch up. A good pitch to handle, and he does. Squares it up.
Now, a really good situation here for Michael Busch. 2 years ago, Dodgers' first-round pick. Well, that's spring training, but he's got a chance to win a ball game. Right
Yes,
here.
good time for a little walk-off right here.
He'll take it outside, ball 1. Assembly High School in Minnesota. Before heading to Chapel Hill. One-0 pitch to Michael Busch. There's a strike, 1-1. He was a big factor in the middle of North Carolina's lineup, both in 2018 and 2019. Sophomore year, he hit .317 with 13 home runs, 55 walks, which ranked 10th in the nation that year. He walked in 16% of his plate appearances when he was a freshman. So plate discipline is a big part of his game.
Yes. Really, when you look at the Dodgers big league club, again, we say it all the time. Games are too long for the opposition because the Dodgers make the pitchers work.
2-1 to Bush, now 3-1.
Don't expand that strike zone.
Hitters count now for Bush.
Good spot right here.
First and third, 2 down, bottom of the 7th. Art Warren set to deliver. The right-hander kicks, comes home, and Bush fouls it back. Noisy will be on the run from first base with the pitch. Get a head start. Reds aren't too worried about Noisy anyway. It's the man at third base, Ryan Noda. Represents the winning run. 3-2 pitch to Bush. Oh, this one up in the air to left field, playable. And that'll be your ball game right there. Bush had a chance, and the Dodgers and Reds will tie it tonight, 4-4. Second night in a row, the Dodgers will come up with a tie. They'll go to 2-0-2. The Reds go to 1-2-1. So that's going to do it from Glendale. We say thank you to Ned Colletti. Our final score tonight on a windy night in Arizona: Dodgers 4, Reds 4. We'll be back with you tomorrow night. Rick Monday will join me as the Dodgers face the Cubs on SNLA at 4:30 p.m. Now stay tuned for Access Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by your Southern California Ford dealers.